Hey guys, good morning. It is 9:15 a.m. Eastern, November 8th. I was going to make a little vlog, I guess, so to speak, about some things with PvP. I was thinking about maybe making like my videos more based on like, I don't know if you guys ever watch like League of Legends, but like Sky, he does these videos. They're more for humor's sake. Mine would be more informational because I'm not very funny. I mean, my friends think I am, but that's because my friends, well, I pick my friends for a reason. In more serious note, though, on a more serious note, there's just some things I like to talk about that I've kind of actually, either talked to my friends about as far as intellectually about WoW or other games, but not really shared, and I kind of want to. And today we're going to talk about PvP and WoW, not only how to become a better player, but how to, well, like, what what's what I'm looking for? How to improve as a person, maybe, I guess, and that sounds really cheesy, but you'll see what I'm talking about. It says Pibb's rules for PvP because I made this about a year ago, probably plus a year ago. Actually, yeah, it's gonna be a long time ago, and my guildies call me Pibb because that's my original tune's name. Um, Now, there's some rules I made, and they all kind of coincide with each other. I really just want to hit on a few of them that are really going to be constant throughout PvP because some of these might be outdated. Actually, I don't know if any really are, but um, yeah. So there's Pibb's 4 C's of PvP, and honestly, if you're willing to be a smartass, there's 5 of them. Um, that's why I'm just gonna come out and make the joke first. There's concentration. We'll start with concentration. Okay, so you need to stay focused. I think it's pretty obvious, especially if you're in arena. You really can't tunnel too hard because let's say you're in a threes match, higher ranking. Sorry, head's all fuzzy still from waking up. Higher ranking, and you you are with, let's say you're facing KFC, because I don't even know if it's a viable comp anymore. Holy Paladin, Warrior, Hunter, and you are a MLS, which in my experience shits on KFC. But anyways, you that's because I love MLS. Don't get me wrong. I really don't know how hard it counters, but you and the mage. I'm the lock. I have a mage partner. We start in on the hunter or the war. We'll start on the warrior for the sake of it. And one thing you have to keep in mind is in arena and PvP in general, and any game you play outside of WoW, League of Legends, Dota, any game you play, PvP is situational. Nothing ever goes according to plan. Ask anybody. It doesn't. You need to be willing to be adaptable. And that's what concentration comes in at. Because let's say you're saying, okay, here's the plan. We're going to focus the warrior hard, but not pop major cooldowns. CC the paladin really hard. As soon as that paladin bubbles, we are going to wait till bubble, then go switch and hard switch to him and pop all of our cooldowns on him. And we're going to win because we're going to kill him and then we're going to kill everybody else. That's fine in theory, and it might work. However, what happens when, let's say, the warrior and the hunter go on your shaman, okay, and they just pop everything on him, and they go straight up ham on him? You need to stop what you're doing, stop focusing your damage and focus into peeling. Your CC needs to not be going on the paladin, but going on to the damage until your shaman can regroup, and the cooldowns have been wasted by them. It's concentrating. You don't want to tunnel into their warrior and then your healer's dead. That kind of kills any game plan you had if your healer dies. So you got to be able to adapt, but that kind of goes into concentrating. You have to concentrate on what you're doing, make sure you're willing, to adapt and focus on what you have to do and focus on everything. You can't just focus on one thing. Arena, and unfortunately for those of us that aren't very good at multitasking, higher ranked arena requires multitasking. You have to be able to pay attention to a lot of things at once. You have to be able to pay attention to, honestly, I think it's good to be able to pay attention to all of their health, but really the healer's health and your main target's health you need to focus on. You need to focus on CC timers, you need to focus on your team's health, your own health, you need to focus on cooldowns. There's a lot of things you have to focus on in an arena, all in at once. So you need to make sure you're focusing and you're concentrated. The next one actually goes along with, there's 2 of these that go along. I kind of wish I would have put them next to each other back then, but there's cooperation, there's communication. You need to be able to work with your team. Like, and communicate with them. And this goes literally in any type of arena, in any type of rated battleground. You need to be willing to give up a little bit of damage to help your team. So, like, we go back to that situation I just mentioned. If you're being greedy and want to just do a bunch of damage to the warrior to try and be the hero, sure, 1 out of 6 times it may work, but that's still 5 other times it doesn't. And instead of doing that, you could be, and I don't want to face those odds in arenas. I mean, what is that, 1 in 6? I mean, it's like 20, not even 20%. So, sorry, math isn't working yet. It's my day off of school. So, you need to make sure you are cooperating. You know, you work with your teammates. You don't be selfish. You don't tunnel hard. And tunnel vision's a big problem in arena, in my opinion. And you're communicating. You know, you don't want to stack CC. If the warlock, if either, let's say I call it fear, all right, and I'm going to fear the warrior, and you just polyed him. If you're not telling me you're polymorphing him, there's a problem. You have to be calling this stuff out. You gotta go, all right, polymorphing the warrior, and then if he trinkets, all right, doing it again, all right, you know, and to get that, so you got to make sure you're cooperating and you are, you know, and you're communicating what you're doing. The last thing, which we kind of mentioned quite a bit there in all of our points, is CC, crowd control, because I don't care what anybody says. In my experience, in my last 3.5 years of experience in PvP, crowd control makes or breaks any situation. Whoever has the most crowd control going out wins the game. 90% of the time. You know that saying, defense wins championships? Yeah. Crowd control wins arena matches. Crowd control wins rated battlegrounds. Because you need to be CCing for a lot of reasons. To nullify damage. Just to delay someone's cooldowns. Let's say you see a warlock pop his, this is before Archimonde's Darkness, but pops his Dark Soul in his trinket and goes in demon form. You get some good CC on him, he just wasted all of that, okay? And same thing with anybody else. You need to make sure you have CC for killing offensively. You can CC their healer. You can CC their damage so they're not peeling for their healer. You can CC to prevent CC. Oh, the druid is coming out of cat form. Chances are he's trying to cyclone fear, you know, or whatever. So, do what you can do. CC literally makes or breaks PvP, and I'm convinced. I literally think there's a lot of important aspects of PvP, and you really can't leave them all out, but crowd control is the most vital and the most important part of PvP, in my opinion. It literally makes or breaks. I'm convinced. Over my years of experience, it's what I've seen. And then we're going to talk about some attitude things now, now that we kind of move away from that. And the first thing is you need to stay relaxed, but excited. So, like, and, you know, there is a balance between the two of them because, like, in sports they call it being in the zone. In psychology, it's actually called flow. And what flow is when you're at the perfect moment, or the perfect level of arousal and relaxation. There's, like, you think of it like a bar like this, the middle of it, that's flow. That's being in the zone. You're going to be at peak performance in whatever you're going to do. Now, something I did was, and I was notorious for doing in arena, was I would when we're going, let's say we're going to high ranked arena, I would have classical music. I'd have Mozart, I'd have Beethoven, something playing so it would relax me, but I would still play well. You see what I'm saying? So, like, it would be big and it would, like, exciting, but it would also be a calming, so you could find your balance, and that's really important to do, especially in PvP, is to find that balance. Because, like I said, you don't want to be too relaxed because you're going to miss a lot of things, and you don't want to be too excited because you're going to miss a lot of things. The next thing is worrying about yourself. Like, if you win or you lose, you need to make sure you're looking at yourself and looking in the mirror before you're pointing out someone else's mistakes. There's an old saying I like: do not judge until you are willing to be judged. And that's so true in PvP, because you cannot go and say, oh my god, why didn't you polymorph here, why didn't you ice block, yada yada, until you realize your mistakes that led up to that. Why did he have to ice block? Were you not throwing out enough fears? Could you have done something more? And the answer is yes to that. Then you need to be looking, all right, you should have ice blocked. However, I also could have done this better. You need to present it well to them so it doesn't sound like you're just being condescending. You're fixing mistakes and recognizing you made your own and that it's okay that he also made his own. Or she. I'm not biased. Making mistakes in PvP is really important. I say here it's more important than anything else, but CC is pretty important. Making mistakes actually is what helps you learn, as we know. You fall down, you learn to pick yourself up. Same thing in PvP. You miss a fear, hopefully you won't miss it next time. Maybe you'll miss something else, so you can work on that. And that's how you get better as a player. There's always room to grow. Look at Snuts. Today is November 8th, so BlizzCon starts in like a few hours, 6 hours or so. Snuts was at like the last 3 arena finals, right? He won last year, and yet, unless he's using a different character's name, and I don't know if he is, I haven't been keeping up with it, so forgive me if I'm wrong here, he didn't qualify this year. So there's somewhere he needs to learn. He needs to be able to adapt to the new changes, obviously, or whatever's going on. So just remember that. And that's a big thing. You need to respect your partners. Excuse me. I say this is a big part because if you're not respectful, they're not going to want to listen to you. Like, especially if you're the shot caller, which I'm famous for being, and anything. I'm famous for just calling stuff. All right, switch to this guy. All right, CC this guy. Because I'm very active and talking. And usually I make a decent call so that my team relies on me. But you need to be nice and compliment them when they win or lose. If they lose and they're feeling all down and you're the shot caller, that means you the captain, if you will, you need to be the guy that picks your team up. It isn't your job at the time when they're already feeling down on themselves to put them down further. You don't put your foot on their throat. You help pick them up. You say, all right, you know what, yeah, we missed some CC there, but we faced an overpowered comp that had 200 higher MMR than us, and we lasted 7 minutes. So here's what we need to do to fix it. And that's good. Don't go, oh my god, I can't believe you missed that polymorph. How did you miss that hex? You guys, I can't believe this. We're going to lose every game if we don't do this. That's not going to work. It's not going to help. And they're probably going to leave. And I've seen it. I used to not be the shot caller. When we got that team, I should say, to almost 2K rated, the guy that quit the team, that was the leader of it, that deleted the team, whatever, he was the shot caller. And me and the mage on the team hated him. Couldn't stand him because, for starters, in my opinion, we carried him hard, but also because every time we lose, it was never his own fault. And what did I say? Look at yourself before you look at anyone else, because it is important to recognize your own mistakes or people are going to dislike you even more. Sorry, I'm pretty passionate about that one. Peel for your healers is huge. You need to... I'm just going to basically read this out. I really don't know why people don't seem to understand the concept of peeling for their healers. If you just let their DPS go nuts on your healer, then you'll lose 99% of your arenas or rated battlegrounds. Peel, it just doesn't mean a CC or even multiple CCs. Yeah, those are peels, but a death grip or burst of DPS a little bit. Forcing a player to play more defensive leaves less room for them to play offensive. Peel for them, guys. And that's a very true statement. If you are forcing a player to pop defensive cooldowns, that's not leaving much room for him to pop offensive cooldowns. He's going to have to line of sight, especially if you're a caster, and he's going to have to kite instead of doing that damage to your healer. So put pressure on him. That's peeling too, guys. You know, I'm looking at I'm making sure that I don't... you need to make sure, like, the biggest things in PvP, guys, are obviously, like, comes back to the 4 C's, you know, of PvP, but also, like, everything in PvP, I swear to God, if my dogs bark, I'm gonna go crazy. Dogs, no. Everything in PvP comes back to you, you know, and it's important that you work on you before you work on other people. I personally did not get where I'm at, and I'm still not where I want to be. I want to be a gladiator. I want to be up there, you know, and hell, I guess my dream would be to be somebody trying to qualify for, you know, the BlizzCon tournament, which I don't know that will ever happen, but you got to work on you first. And yes, if you're a shot caller, and yeah, if your team's screwing up, you need to help them realize their mistakes if they're not, but you need to do it respectfully because they're not going to listen if you're a jerk about it. In fact, they'll probably just keep making them or making other mistakes because they're too worried about what you're going to say about the other one, so they lose focus, and it starts a cycle you don't want to. Most of all in PvP, you need to have fun. As serious as Arena can get, you need to find fun in it, because if you don't, then you're not going to do anything. Because what is it? There's 4 players, or sorry, 6 players from North America going to this year's tournament for BlizzCon. Assuming the majority of my audience is North American. That's 6 out of a lot. I mean, I don't even know how many people play WoW. 6 out of, let's say, 350,000. All right, that's giving WoW a lot little, like, not credit at all. But let's say that's the case of people seriously doing Arena. Guys, that's like a 0.00005% chance you are going around there. You are going to be one of those top 6. And that's not good numbers. So you need to be more focused about having fun and enjoying what you're doing. It's good to try to be better, don't get me wrong, but make sure that you guys understand the concepts and all that. So the last thing I want to touch on, somehow I managed to forget about, was two things that I think are the most problematic and detrimental things you can do in Arena right now. And I'm going to probably catch a lot of flack for this, but it's just me being honest. Number 1, clicking. Just let it sink in for a second. Okay. Clicking, I'm not saying you can't be successful. I'm not. That being said, I am saying I don't think you're going to get much past 1750 if you are. And here's why. If you're clicking your spells, okay, click, click, click. I wish I had my WoW account up right now, but I don't. You know, you're clicking your spells. It's doing nothing effective because you're using your, excuse me, you're using your keyboard to move, and you're using your keyboard to turn if you're clicking your spells, which is awful. You need to be, using your mouse to move, and turn as well. And this not using your keyboard for key bindings. Now, I'm very happy here. I have an awesome gaming mouse. I don't think I can advertise for it. I don't really care because I don't think that many people watch my channel to really get me in trouble. And it has these buttons on the side. I can't tell if you guys, let me pull up my broadcast or see if you can even see it, because I don't want to. So, oh, you couldn't. Come on, mouse. So, what the hell? Stupid wire. Alright, this is my gaming mouse, and it's awesome because it has these 12 buttons here on the side, and I love it, personally. I think it's a great mouse, and it lets me use my key bindings or whatever I need to use, and use them effectively. So, you can click, 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 but it's not going to help you too much. Oh, wow, that's annoying. Okay, my bad. Okay. I'm not saying you can't be successful, but I'm saying it's way better to use key bindings, to use your mouse to move, macro stuff together. And this is what I'm getting to with all this. Macroing is huge in PvP because you can use it for focus macros, like focus sphere, focus polymorph. I use it for all my classes as far as CCing goes. Affliction, it's huge for multi-dotting, etc. If you're just going, like, I was a clicker when I first started. I was a clicker for about a year. More than that, actually. And Puma said, dude, you should really use key bindings. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I should. So I changed all of my stuff to key bindings. And I didn't learn anything because I tried to memorize all of them at once. And that's when Puma was like, no, no, no. Do it like 2 or 3 at a time. Okay? I mentioned Puma a lot because Puma was responsible for me even still playing this game, but being decent at this game. And so I would do 1, 2, 3 would be my first key bindings. I'd only use them. I'd never click them. And I'd go to 4, maybe 5, and then I'd go to Shift R, whatever, Shift Q, Control. By then, like, everything's key bound, and it's awesome. You can even, if you don't have a gaming mouse, you can even use your mouse wheel. Like, scroll up does something, scroll down does something, Shift scroll up, Shift scroll down. It's awesome, the things you can do with your mouse. So don't be afraid to toy with it. It's fun too to toy with key bindings, and it works well. I promise once you get better at them, it'll improve your skill tremendously as a PvPer. But I think I've rambled on for enough. That's my little short pinpoints of being a better PvPer. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, subscribe if you feel like you'd want to. Sorry if I'm a bit annoying sometimes. I'm kind of tired and I like to ramble. But that's about it. So until next time, guys, peace.